One of the best RPGs in the PS2 was Dark Cloud. Well, it and its sequel. Often called Sony's answer to The Legend of Zelda, the game's mixed dungeon crawling and RPG action with a very cool feature that allowed you to build your own towns. The two elements made for a very addicting game that I had a hard time putting down even after completion, and I view both Dark Cloud and Dark Cloud 2 as two of the best RPGs in the system, so if you haven't played them, go track them down. Maybe on Amazon. That's a website. But really, go do that. See, if everyone starts showing interest in the series again, they could make a third game. And I want that. So, if Level 5 is listening, and you're not, but I'm going to pretend you are, please make Dark Cloud 3. I saw a post about it on IGN a few years ago. Granted, that was probably total bullshit, but I want it. Sincerely yours, me. Anywho, my infatuation with the series started with the first game, which makes sense, and I'm very thankful for it. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way. See, I fit that in there because it's Thanksgiving today. It makes sense. But before it was Thanksgiving, and before I got a chance to play Dark Cloud, it had a beta version that contained some neato differences. And I'm going to talk about those, because that's kind of a running theme on this segment. So today on Gaming Mysteries Thanksgiving, I'll be talking about the beta of Dark Cloud. Now, Dark Cloud began development in 1998 when Level 5 was founded, and when the PS2 was announced in 1999, the title was used to show off the capabilities of the console. It's here, in this shown-off trailer demo thingy, that many differences between the early version and the final product can be seen. The first difference that stands out is the flying carpet, but we're not going to talk about that just yet, so we're going to talk about the guy riding on the flying carpet, and hey, it's the main character guy with the thing on his chest. I don't know what it's called. It's like that ascot thing that Fred from Scooby-Doo wore. But anyways, as you can see, he looks a bit different from his final counterpart. His face looks completely different. No hat, different haircut, I don't approve of that. He has a slightly darker complexion, which I do approve of, and different colored pants. Oh, and he can jump. Now, for those of you who have played the final product, you may be aware of the lack of jumping. I, for the life of me, cannot figure out why that was removed. Granted, maybe it was because combat really didn't call for you to jump much, but, I like jumping. Though I do find it intriguing that Sony's answer to The Legend of Zelda originally had jumping in it, but that jumping was removed. But the early version of Ocarina of Time also had jumping in it, but that was also removed, and no, I'm not counting the jump that Link always does when he plunges off a ledge to his death, or whatever he's doing. I don't know why he does that shit. This early version of the main character also seems to show more lifelike movements and reactions as opposed to the final version, who's a bit more not-give-a-shit-ish. I actually kind of prefer the beta version of the main character, minus the pants thing, and maybe the hair thing, but that other stuff is great. I think he looks a tad cooler, and shit, he can jump! Which is a very useful skill that more RPG characters should learn to make use of, you lazy bastards, and your amazing hair and swords that are obviously compensating for something, and we all know what that is. That's why you can't jump. Next up we have the flying carpet. Now, the carpet's use would be to transport you to various locations, or so I assume, as I'm not really sure what the fuck else you could do with a flying carpet. Because it wouldn't be much use if it wasn't you guys get where I'm going with this. But anyways, at the very least, I know it was supposed to be used to get the main character from where he was back to a floating landmass in the sky. Why the sky? Well, this version of Dark Cloud had a slightly different premise. In this early version, the game focused on the main character returning this floating piece of land back to where it originally came from, which I'm guessing was on the surface of the planet, because I'm not sure where else it would go. Its spot taken by an evil kingdom, though. So that's where the plot twist is. My assumption is that this floating landmass is a slightly different version of the first town you deal with in the final product, and that the rest of the game would play out the same-ish, as shown by another town in this little beta trailer, which is in the final game. Though, I'm just assuming. But, while viewing footage of this floating rock, the trailer gives us a look at the georama system that allows you to build towns, and it seems very similar to the final product, though I do notice a few differences. For one, the area you have to build within is fucking massive. Not only that though, the buildings, trees, they're all huge, much larger than what was seen in the finished version. Granted, that could just be my imagination because it's 2 a.m. But we're just going to pretend that it's not my imagination and that this is actually the case. With the possible imaginary increased size of things, it gives the town a more grandiose scale when compared to the final game, and that's not to knock the final game, especially when I am probably just imagining shit, but this town looks cooler. Look at those fences. They're probably made out of wood or something. That's good stuff. Oh, and there's this fucking volcano. A couple of them, actually. Now, these didn't make it into the final product, but, they should have, because creating a town in which the villagers have to constantly worry about imminent death from a volcano is just fun. Playing God is fun is what I'm getting at here. A special Thanksgiving lesson from me. You're welcome, parents. Happy holidays. But that's the beta of Dark Cloud, or that's as much information as I could round up. Was kind of hoping to find some footage of the combat, or at least some information, but oh well. Not all of these videos can be 16 minutes, only that one. In any case, and I know I say this a lot, but I'm fine with most of the changes they made to the game before its final release, as Dark Cloud is an incredible game. And even though jumping and maybe larger scale towns and imminent death are all very appealing aspects, the lack of these elements don't make Dark Cloud any less of a masterpiece. And hey, they could add volcanoes to Dark Cloud 3, which they should still totally make, because I would buy it. Hell, some of you might buy it too. Come on, level 5, that's like what? 10 people? 10 times 60, because 60 is how much games cost. That's like $600. $600. And that could all be yours if you make Dark Cloud 3. So now that the money's on the table, I want you to think about it. Please make Dark Cloud 3, you guys. I will buy it. At least give me an HD collection. Something. Throw me something. I want Dark... I love you guys. This has been Gaming Mysteries. Thanks for watching. It's Thanksgiving and I'm sad because there'll never be a Dark Cloud 3.